What is up, YouTube? Alright. I see everyone else doing this, so I'm gonna do it. That's a good reason to do things, because it's not. But, sorry. I had to get a drink. Okay. So I've been seeing everybody do book collections. Book hauls. Mine are not the kind of books you're really going to see on YouTube. Don't worry, they're nothing bad, but they're generally not the kind of books you'll see people say, "Oh, this is my book collection." But to the limited ones of us out there that are going to be interested in this, and I'm hoping that Fanatical for Jesus will be, because I'd really like to see all of his collection. It's going to be, well, I know a lot of his collection because we read a lot of the same books, but I would like to see all of them, and I know I haven't seen all of them, so, because generally we will we'll get some interesting books, and then we suggest them to each other, and we suggest them to each other, and that's kind of how we get our book collection together. Now, we do have differing tastes on a few of them, and so if you just hold on for 1 second, we do have differing tastes on a few of them. Hold on. So I will show you exactly where we differ at in just 1 minute. You just gotta give me 1 second. Alright. So here's where our views are a little different at. I have John MacArthur. This is where our views are different at, pretty much. He likes John MacArthur, but not a whole lot. This is actually a 2-in-1 book, so this is 2 books. I've read The Vanishing Conscience. I've not yet read Hard to Believe, so can't tell you anything about that, but I do have a book review of The Vanishing Conscience up if you want to look at it. Here's another book by John MacArthur. It is called Found God's Will. This is, you can tell, I do have a secular book collection which will be uploaded in another video. This is just the Christian books. So Found God's Will, just a little short read. I have a book review up on this too. It's a pretty interesting little book. It's, what, 80 pages or something? 75 pages. Interesting little book. 23 Minutes in Hell by Bill Weiss. I have a book review of this too, although I've read it twice. I sort of read it to kind of try to validate the book to myself, and I still came away with the first conclusion that I had of this book. If you're looking for an authentic Christian book, Bill Weiss is not your author. But if you're just looking for an entertaining read, I guess Bill Weiss would be your author. In the Face of God, Mike Horton. Good author, not like the phenomenal John MacArthur, but Fanatical for Jesus will disagree with me there, but that's okay. To each his own. He's allowed to be wrong every once in a while, you know. I have a book review up on this also. So I have that, and I'm not going to go too much in detail. I'm going to have a lot of books to show you. Putting Amazing Back into Grace. The book that got me interested in Reformed theology. Pretty good book. Charismatic Chaos by John MacArthur. It's mainly talking about TV preachers like Benny Hinn and Joel Osteen and Joyce Meyer and all them. The Truth About Grace. Another John MacArthur book. I actually am getting the last book to that series. There's 3 of them. I have 2 of them, which you'll see in a minute. You'll see the other one. John Piper. Don't Waste Your Life is an alright book, just from what I could see from it. I haven't read all of it yet. A lot of these I haven't read, even touched yet. I tend to get a couple books in a week. Plus, me and Fanatical for Jesus tend to buy each other a lot of books. Like here, I'll show you if I remember them. I'll show you the ones that he got me if I remember to. So, alright, John Piper, Don't Waste Your Life. Paul Washer's The Truth About Man. This is actually sort of a book, but it is also, as you can see, a workbook too. So it's 2 in 1. It's a read and a write, pretty much. What is Reformed Theology by R.C. Sproul. I actually got this book for free. It just one day just kind of showed up in the mail. And R.C. Sproul also sent me. He's also really good. And he also sent me a DVD or a CD. Showed up in the mail one day. So I like free stuff, especially when they're books by authors that I like a lot. John MacArthur's The Truth About War. What's actually funny is I haven't read this yet, but the guy, Fanatical, he's not the biggest John MacArthur fan in the world. Like, I'm definitely more of a John MacArthur reader than he is, but he's read this book and I haven't. Kind of weird. Philip Yancey's The Jesus I Never Knew. John MacArthur's Standing Strong. This basically is sort of a book on spiritual leadership, kind of how to stay strong in the face of adversity on things, and just some really inspirational text to read. By inspirational, I don't mean like Joel Osteen or anything. I just mean it's a very biblically sound but inspirational book. The Case for Christ, Lee Strobel. This guy was actually converted to Christianity by interviewing people as an atheist. He was an atheist, and he was converted to Christianity by interviewing Christians. Anxious for Nothing, John MacArthur. Pretty much another book, basically sort of like take the worries off your shoulders kind of book. I mean, again, not like most evangelicals where they're gonna say, "Oh, it's okay, you have a piece of God in you, you're all good, you just need a little bit of help." It's not what it's about. Not with this book. So. Crazy Love by Francis Chan. Crazy Love by Francis Chan. Another good book. He actually references prosperity preaching in here too. His big thing here, so far as I can see, I've only read about 31 pages into it. He's basically talking about like the wonders of the universe and how people, like how is it that people can say, "Oh, there isn't a God" when you have so many wonders about the universe. I wouldn't particularly use that argument, but he does. So, John MacArthur, Jesus you can't ignore. 100% about irresistible grace. You can't. Jesus was a bold man. He He taught correct doctrine, but he was very bold. He went against the grain, and that's what this is about. Johnny Erickson taught us Heaven, Your Real Home. Haven't read all this one yet. I'm on page 143. Really got to finish this one because I just want to get this book done with. So I'll leave this out actually. R.C. Sproul, the Essentials of the Christian Faith. This is an apologetics book. Well, hence R.C. Sproul being an apologist. Basically, anything that you have from him is going to teach you defenses of a way to defend the Christian faith. Slave by John MacArthur. Talks about the misinterpretation of a lot of Bible verses that say that we're supposed to be a servant or something. No, we're not. A servant implies there's a will to be there. There's a choice. This is 100% about predestination and about how the word servant isn't just hard enough. We are his slaves. And that's just the way it is. Not in a way where it's condescending or degrading, but that's essentially what we are. God: A Debate Between a Christian and an Atheist by William Lane Craig and Walter Sino Armstrong. William Lane Craig's another apologist. He is an evidential apologist, which I still, I guess I'm sort of still leaning to that side. So I guess presuppositionalism also looks appealing, but I guess I sort of still lean to this side. Mark Driscoll. Had I done this book review yesterday, I probably would have done him a little bit more justice than I'm going to do him now. Good guy, heart's in the right place, really good author, catches your attention on his sermons, endorses T.D. Jakes. That's what I have a problem with. T.D. Jakes is a heretic. I don't like when my guys support heretics. So, now that's a good question, R.C. Sproul. This is just one book. It's not a regular read. It's just sections on the questions he's been asked throughout his time in the ministry and the answers he gives to them. The Truth About Forgiveness by John MacArthur. If you haven't caught on to it, I really like John MacArthur. I've got like 5 books of his coming to my house right now, actually, from Amazon, which is where I got the majority of these, probably 90% of them. And this was a book given to me by Fanatical for Jesus. Sent it to me for Christmas. By the way, thank you. The Passion of Jesus Christ by John Piper. Haven't read it yet, so I really can't give you any kind of review on it or do any justice to it, because I don't know. John Piper is really good, though. Jesus Among Other Gods by Ravi Zacharias. I read a couple pages into it. I've seen Rabbi's sermons. Rabbi's really, really a very smart man. It's kind of funny because people always say, oh, well, you're always going to be the religion that you grew up in. Yeah, he grew up in India, and he's a Christian. So, think about that. When You Rise Up, A Covenantal Approach to Homeschooling by R.C. Sproul, Jr. Not this guy, but this guy's son. Haven't read it yet, so I don't know. Death by Love. Mark Driscoll, basically talking about Jesus is the atonement. It's basically talking about the atonement. Chosen by God by R.C. Sproul. Talks about predestination. The book I haven't gotten to yet, which David says I should, The Law of Perfect Freedom by Mike Horton. I don't know, I haven't read too much of it yet, so I can't really do it any justice, do any kind of review on it or anything. The Gospel Driven Life, which is exactly what Christians should be leading. I heard a quote from Fanatical, actually, and then I read it in another book I'm reading right now. It says, preach the gospel all the time, and when necessary, use words. It means live the gospel by your life. Too Good to Be True, another Mike Horton book. I haven't read it yet. The Agony of Deceit. Another Mike Horton book. Haven't read it yet, but I do know that it's about TV preachers. Again, Joel Osteen, Joyce Meyer. That's also what this book is about right here. Christless Christianity. It's my little reading light. Christless Christianity. While I'm back here, I guess I Was a Born Again Mormon by Sean McCraney. He was a Mormon high priest. He was in the Mormon church for 40 years and realized he didn't agree with Mormonism anymore. So now he's I don't know what sect of Christianity he's in. So I can't tell you. Scripture alone. Sola Scriptura. Most important lesson you could probably learn by R.C. Sproul. R.C. Sproul's a very, very smart apologist. But not as good as Charles H. Spurgeon. Need to get more books by him. Little short one, as you can see. Evangelicals, Catholics in Unity by Mike Horton. A.W. Tozer's The Pursuit of God. The Man of Sin by Kim Riddle-Barger. Again, Christmas gift by David. Thank you. Or Fanatical. Sorry for saying your name. And One Perfect Life. See, this is another reason why I love John MacArthur. This is a $30 book. See? If you can see, $30. If you're on his mailing list, yeah, you get it for free. And so, but you have to be on his mailing list by the time he makes the offer. Right. So that's my Reformed, or very close to Reformed, Christian books. And later on I'll be uploading all of my non-Christian books, or my non-Reformed, and then or very far out Christian books, and then my secular. So, peace. Sub below, and rate and comment below. Let me know what you think.